Okay, here we go in Excel, and I'm going to begin this conversation by talking about how this tech pack was originally set up. Now, this tech pack has about 10 different tabs on it, and those tabs really go through different stages of the tech pack process. And the way it begins is in this particular tech pack, it's defined on the spec tab, and then you continuously work through it, going through any of the tabs that you need to work through next. Now, notice in this tech pack, you have areas that are grayed out. All right, your company logo would go up top, of course. Your basic header information would be on top, which could be anything. All right, you have places to add imagery, and then unlike most tech packs you see, probably you don't see stuff like this unless you're in more of a PDM or PLM type of system. But you see, you have these little buttons here that are available to you now. Hopefully I began this with this conversation and talking about relationships and creativity. And the reason why I bring this up is I have this very creative individual that works for me that's pretty talented in development of certain requests or requirements, let's just say. So a brand had come to us with a request to take a basic Excel tech pack. Or they wanted to get out, let's say, a more robust solution that they had that just wasn't working for them, and they wanted something a little more simplified. So we decided to give them a little bit of Excel, and we call it Excel kind of 2.0, Excel on steroids, because we've taken Excel and given it functionality that you just wouldn't find in any normal Excel type of tech pack. So I'm going to demonstrate that to you right now. Now, again, what this tech pack does is it has a blank area at the bottom. Now notice you have headers here that are listed for number, palms, production, date, stuff like that. And as I go through some of the other tabs, you notice that they're blank. And again, they should be like that. This is a template. This is something that you're really not going to work on until you have the information. Okay? So I'm going to explain to you exactly how this is supposed to work and how it was set up for this particular brand. This brand would come in, and of course they would already have their default logo on the header. Input the style information should they if they knew what it was. So I'm just going to input something like test. I'm going to say fabric. I'm going to input some type of content. I don't know, 100% CTN. Let's say my season is fall 11 2011. Maybe today's date would be 9/27/10. And I don't know who the vendor is, but let's just say, let's make something up. Okay? Now, the great thing is about this header, and this is normal Excel functionality, this is not even anything fancy yet, is that whatever is typed in on the header will correspond to all the headers for this document, except for one area in particular. And I don't know if you're seeing what that area is, but I'm going to try and highlight it for you and let you know. That is this date area. So basically, across most pages, you will not see the date filled in, and that's rightfully justified because the date should only apply to when that page is worked on. So we define the header at the beginning of the spec, and it's defined across all the pages of the spec, basically. Now, when it comes down to what type of product I'm working on, this is where we get into some of the functionality that was defined for this particular tech pack. I have different types of product or body styles, let's just say, that we have to select from a drop-down list. And what I do here is simply pick the list or pick the appropriate product that I know I'm going to work on. So let's say it could either be a pant, short, knit, extra small to extra large, and the sample size is medium. What I'm going to do is now use some of the steroid type of functionality that was added for this tech pack, and I'm going to select the button for import palms. When I hit that, all of a sudden you see this template jump in the action. Now, of course, the actual data was taken out because we don't want to really jeopardize any or compromise any of the data that the company that this was built for actually has in the system. But so we substituted it with Palm 1, Palm 2. These would be the Palm names of your actual product. So if I pick pants short knit extra small to extra large, all of the appropriate palms would automatically come in. Now, what's important about that automatically coming in is that it now comes into the next page, which is the graded specs page, and where it really gets robust is that it brings in the appropriate tolerance. Okay, the appropriate plus and minus grade, and I'm going to explain that to you shortly, and the appropriate grade across all sizes. Now, just in case you missed this, because here's the really important part about this, I'm going to actually do something, a piece of the functionality that was added to reset this template. Okay, template is reset. Now, I'm going to explain it to you again. Nothing is in the specs tab. Nothing is in the graded specs tab. However, you do see some headings here. Okay, so here is the great part about this whole tech pack that was set up. Is basically I'll go in here to find a different. I'm going to pick a different one. Let's say I'll do I don't know, pants short. I don't even know what we did. We did pants short knit. So I'm going to do jumper woven. Okay, jumper woven. Import palm. Here's my palm. Now before it was 24 palms. Notice how this one automatically went to 55 palms, and what you might not have recognized before is that after the 24 palms that were there previously, everything below that was grayed out. So it knew what the inactive cells were. That's what this tech pack is recognizing as well. It knows that these are the active palms, so it knows what cells to keep active. And if I transfer that through to the graded specs tab, notice that all the appropriate palms came into the graded specs tab with the appropriate plus and minus, well, with the appropriate tolerance and grade minus and plus grade. Now, the way this is simply utilized, I just want to explain it to you because not every brand works the same. And the great thing about a template like this is it can be tweaked to suit a particular brand's process. Is that this plus or minus grade really refers to the grade that you have in front of you. So if the base sizes are medium sample size, then my plus grade would be my large and extra large. My minus grade would be my extra small and small. So what it's saying here, it's for the minus grade, it's only a ½ inch for each size. For the plus grade, it's a ½ inch for each size. If at any point I wanted to change that and decided, you know what, I really need it to be 3/4, then I can go in and input 3/4 and automatically tweak the grades for those two sizes. Do you understand where the steroids come in this tech pack? This is really, really a great thing that was done for Excel, and it was meant to keep it very basic for the user. Now, the way this also works, in terms of how it's going to be utilized, is basically you going through your normal process of your fit process. So here's your spec. Your palms come in. Now I want to define what my initial spec is. I'm just going to pick a sample type. Every brand has a different type of sample type. It could be initial, could be many things, could be sample size, many different types of headings I've seen across many different companies. But let's say I'm going to pick that this is RS for whatever example. And I'm just going to put in a couple of numbers. Alright, I'm going to say I'm asking for this sample to come in at 11. Now, of course, this would be a very unique garment. But in the essence of time, I'm going to put in a bunch of values. Okay. And 11 just is a good one for me to go through and use because it allows you to quickly see where some variances are. Okay. I hate to do this, and there's a reason why I'm not copying them down. Okay, because that wasn't created to copy them down. It was created for you to actually use this and go through it. So what I'm going to do is say, here's my requested sample, and I'm going to say, I don't know, this is my received sample, let's just say, or revise, well, not revise, my received sample. Okay, so I asked for 11. When I received this, it came in at 12. This one came in 11. This one came in 11. But this one came in at 13. Okay, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 0.5. Automatically converts it into fractions. Okay, just in case you missed that, let's do it again. 11.5. Boom, automatically converts it into fractions. Okay, I did say it was on steroids, right? 14. I'm just going to put a couple of numbers down here. Okay, so now here's what I'm going to show you about this first tab. And I'm sure if you're familiar with the TechPack process, you know how you put your initial measurements in, your initial information, you send that information overseas, a sample is created and sent back to you with the paperwork. Now, the measurements of that sample should be taken in two places. Once when it leaves the vendor, the factory, or wherever it leaves overseas, and then once when it's received by you, wherever your main office is. When that's received, you're going to put in what you would say is your received sample values. And what you'd probably like to do is, instead of doing it by eye, quickly have them check up against the requested sample so you can see that whether there's a variance or difference in any of the measurements. And what was set up here, again, I'm going to stress the fact that this is a TechPack on steroids. It's an opportunity or an option available to you to say check tolerance. So when I select check tolerance, it says to me, please enter the column name containing your initial measurements for comparison. So what were my requested measurements? That was column C. I'm going to hit OK. And now it says please enter the column name containing the measurements that you would like to compare it against. So that's going to be column D. I'm going to hit enter. Alright. Invalid measurement exists. Let's see. It'll tell me where there's an invalid measurement. Of course, it's saying everywhere there's not a measurement value in here. But everywhere there's a measurement that is out of scope, off spec, it's going to identify that. Now, you have to understand that is pertaining back to the tolerance setting that is listed on this page. It is a very small tolerance setting here. It says 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. To show you whether or not this works efficiently, I'm going to clear tolerances. I'm going to change one of these to, let's say 11 1/8. 11. And that's for palm 11. I'm going to just check palm 11. Palm 11 has a 1/4 of an inch tolerance. So that should be well within the tolerance that's been defined. So I'm going to check tolerance again. Say I want to check C against D. Hit OK. It'll tell me some has invalid measurements, but 11 is fine. So you see the functionality that was programmed in here is actually perfect for the way we've defined this. Okay. Now I'm just going to quickly go through some of the other functionality that's in here. I can always clear that when I'm done. Okay. I can add palms if I need to. And it's very simple the way this is set up. If I add a palm, it says please insert or please enter the palm number for the palm you'd like to insert. Now I'm dealing with the palm number, not the number of the Excel TechPack. The palm number. Palm numbers are important. These are the numbers to identify the palms for the TechPack I'm working on. So if I want to place a palm in number 7, and I want to call that palm test palm, what this will do, and what this will know how to do basically, is it'll ask me enter a tolerance value. So I'm going to say 1/8. Apparently I'm going to have to put in 0.5, and it's great that it does that. Please enter a grade rule value for all sizes below the sample size. That's a minus grade. So I'm going to say 0.5 for that to be safe, and then 0.5 for all grades above. What it automatically does is push every palm down. At 0.7, it enters a new palm, calls it test. On the graded specs tab, it puts it at the same place, calls it test, puts in my 1/2 inch tolerance, my 1/2 inch grade down and grade up, and grades it accordingly across all sizes. This is basic Excel stuff here, folks. This is not anything that is foreign to Microsoft basic functionalities. It's just someone with a little more of a development skill able to pull this together for me. So with that said, there are a couple of things on this page. There's print buttons automatically print. one page or to automatically print all pages. Insert image will quickly allow me to insert an image, a JPEG, automatically instead of you having to go to File, Import, Search, this, that, and the third. And import text box is a way to quickly put text around a certain element of your image. So we've added things in here to just quickly give them the base functionality that they're looking for. All right, and make it as dynamic as we can across all sizes. Image pages you'll see, and text boxes you'll see across many of these. Of course, for design, there's a lot of imagery to add. There's an artwork page for artworks, and then we come to a page called the bill of materials. Now, every aspect of your garment has a cost associated to it. Bill of materials is really rolling up all the elements, trims, fabrication, stuff like that. That really is a cost associated to your garment. And if you roll all that up, it's a good way of you determining what the cost of your garment is going to be. So, in looking at the bill of materials, what I'm really defining is trims, quality, quantity, position, size, and trim color. Okay. So the way I can simply go about that, I can do one of two things. If I go into create BOM, what it's basically asking me for is a list of, it's showing me a list of trims that I can choose from. Basic trims, okay? I can set the arrow over there to send them over. And then when if I want to add a new trim that's not on the list, I can add it up here. And again, this is basic Excel. All right. But when I do this, I'm going to say populate BOM. It's going to automatically add those trims down to my listing. Now, everywhere there's appropriate information, this is all text entry, so I'm not trying to do anything funny with this. What I'm also going to look at is the add color button, because based on the color of my garment, I may have a certain color for my trims. So when I add color, I'm going to say my first color is blue. Hit OK. That adds. If I need to add another color, hit the add color button again. It knows where to put the next color. Okay, so now based on my buttons, I can say, I don't know, I want a quality button. I'm just going to throw in numbers. Maybe there is no quality, but there's a quantity of 5. Position center front, right? Size, I don't know, 24L. For my blue shirt, I want a bone colored button. For my red shirt, I don't know, I'm going to say there's a shell color. Do you get how that works? So for every trim, I can list the appropriate information for it, the color that's associated, and move on down the list. Now, there are other buttons here for this tech pack. Hey, you may need to reset your BOM, clear it out. You may need to edit your trim list to add trims, to delete trims. You may need to insert trims manually. You may need to also insert images. There's text boxes here. It's just basic functionality to really help you define things for your tech pack. Okay? And it's also set up to appropriately print out in the correct way based on how you're going to set this up. Now, when you finally come around to going through all of these fit sessions in your tech pack and you decide, you know what, I did all this stuff and the best measurement that works for me is 11 or 12 here or 13 here. What's going to happen here is that'll go automatically into your graded specs page, automatically grade up and grade down. So now you know what your sizes are across all sizes, and that's your basic standard tech pack functionality. See, sometimes what happens in the business today is, you know, companies can get pretty confused by making tech packs that are a little too elaborate for the user. And what we do here is we try to keep it simple and allow the users to basically have a simplified tech pack with basic information. Okay, again, streamlined so that you're not doing redundant entry and stuff like that, and pretty much sum up what the whole tech pack is supposed to be about. So anybody you know that's interested in this type of functionality, feel free to contact me through PowerPixel. And if you are looking for anything like this to be created for you, the individual, I can work with the individual to get that set up for you. Otherwise, at least take in or try to absorb what you were able to see in this episode, and I'll come back with future episodes and tech pack information so we can look at how we can compare this up against what's out there with current systems today. Thank you very much. Enjoy.